One of the biggest stories behind DUNEARN House isn't actually the project itself, it's what's happening around it. Hi, I'm Sheila.
And I'm Kim.
The Singapore government has unveiled plans to transform Turf City into a vibrant 10-minute neighbourhood, a brand new residential town featuring future homes, parks, community space, schools and improved transport infrastructure.
DUNEARN House is the very first residential development within this exciting transformation. But that's not all. It is also Bukit Timah's first harmonised residential development, and it's just 4 minutes walk away from the 6th Avenue MRT.
Located along DUNEARN Road in District 11, this 99-year leasehold development comprises of 380 units across 5 residential blocks ranging from 2-bedroom to 4-bedroom premium plus study, and is jointly developed by Fraser, CSC Land and Sekisui House. There are 2 blocks of 19 stories and 3 blocks of 10 stories with a basement car park, swimming pools and full communal facilities. In addition, upcoming project that is located next to it has commercial shop on level 1, adding extra convenience to residents at DUNEARN House.
Good news! The preview will start on 10 July 2026, coming Friday. So reach out to us if you wish to view the show flat and find out more. Now, combined with its excellent connectivity, prestigious landed surroundings, renowned schools, highly efficient layout, and the long-term transformation of Turf City, DUNEARN House is positioned quite differently from many projects we have seen before.
Residents are just a 4-minute walk away from 6th Avenue MRT station on the downtown line, providing seamless access to the CBD and multiple MRT interchanges across Singapore. But before we tell you why we like DUNEARN House, let's first discuss why some buyers may not choose to buy it. Because if we cannot answer the concerns honestly, then we shouldn't be recommending the projects in the first place.
Yeah, over the past few weeks, right, while speaking to buyers on the ground, 3 concerns came out repeatedly. And first, several new launches in Bukit Timah haven't been delivered the kind of profits buyers are expecting, and is that really true? Second, DUNEARN House is a 99-year leasehold project surrounded by many freehold developments. Does that make it harder for DUNEARN House buyers to exit in the future? And thirdly, with thousands of new homes planned in Turf City, could future housing supply become a concern? These are all valid questions.
So let's examine them one by one. First, new launches in Bukit Timah doesn't seem to make as much money. To be fair, this observation isn't entirely wrong. If we look back over the last few years, 2 of the newer launches in Bukit Timah, Royal Green and 4th Avenue Residences, hasn't outperformed many mass market projects. Many people assume that because Bukit Timah is a prime location, buying here will mean stronger capital appreciation. However, property doesn't work that way. Location is one part of the equation. Entry price matters, market timing matters, supply matters, and ultimately, demand determines future prices. So, before concluding that Bukit Timah projects don't perform well, let's understand what actually happened. Let's compare 4th Avenue Residences launched in 2019 with Treasure at Tampines, which is launched around the same period. Today, 4th Avenue Residences has generated an average profit of about $206,000, with some of the owners making up to $471,000 profits. In comparison, Treasure at Tampines achieved around $296,000 on average, with some owners making more than $1 million. So yes, their concern is understandable. But here's the more important question. Why did this happen? Because once we understand the reason, we'll know whether DUNEARN House is likely to face the same challenge.
So back in 2019, 4th Avenue Residences launched at approximately $2,400 per square foot. Treasure at Tampines launched at $1,330 per square foot. And that's almost a 80% price premium. So imagine you're buying a home in 2019. Would you be willing to pay almost 80% more just to live in Bukit Timah? So for many home buyers, the answer was no. So with roughly the same budget of around $2 million, buyers could purchase a spacious 5-bedroom homes in Tampines instead of only a 3-bedroom unit in Bukit Timah. So that difference in affordability naturally influenced buyers' decision. So on top of that, larger units generally enjoy stronger absolute gains during an upcycle, allowing many mass market buyers to benefit even more when prices appreciate. So perhaps the issue wasn't that 4th Avenue Residences was poor project or what, but perhaps buyers simply paid too large of a premium during the launch. So which brings us to the real question today: has the pricing gap narrowed? Because if it has, then DUNEARN House could be entering the market under a very different situation.
Let's look at recent launches. Pinery, that is located in Tampines, launched in March this year at around $2,551 per square feet. Assuming DUNEARN House also launched at approximately 3,200 per square feet, the premium is only about 21%. Compare that with the 80% premium that buyers faced back in 2019. That's a completely different pricing relationship. Let's also compare it with another recent launch. Vela Bay, located in Bayshore, launched at approximately 2,869 per square feet. Again, if you assume DUNEARN House launched with an average of about 3,200 per square feet, the difference narrows to just about 12%. With a premium of just 12%, buyers could enjoy a prestigious District 11 address, live within the Bukit Timah enclave, and own the very first residential project in the Turf City transformation. That feels more reasonable than what buyers faced several years ago. If we compare 4th Avenue Residences, which launched in 2019, against Park Esta, which launched about the same period, we do notice a similar pattern. Looking at their profitability today, 4th Avenue Residences recorded an average profit of about 206,000, while Park Esta achieved an average profit of about 389,000. In fact, some Park Esta owners have seen profit as high as 1.3 million. Back in 2019, 4th Avenue Residences launched at the average of about 2,400 per square feet, while Park Esta launch was selling about 1,700 per square feet. That's about a 41% price gap. This is another significant difference in value which naturally affected their profits at exit.
So if we trace back all the way to 2025 October, Penrith, that is located in Queenstown, launched at an average price at about $2,796 per square foot. It has achieved a very strong demand on a launch day sellout of 97% of its units. So now if assume DUNEARN House launched at around 3,002 per square foot, right? So which means the price gap between the Bukit Timah and the RCR is only 14%. Again, that's a very different proposition from the large pricing premiums we saw previously. So now, does this guarantee DUNEARN House will outperform? Of course not, because no project comes with a guarantee. But if one of the biggest reasons earlier Bukit Timah projects experienced slower appreciation was because buyers entered at an excessively high premium today, right? So much narrower gap deserve serious attention. So in fact, we are now looking at a situation where a CCR address is priced surprisingly close to many RCR and OCR launches. And that changes the conversation completely. And that's another interesting comparison. So now, Daintree Residences versus Park Esta, when both projects launched, the price difference between them was less than 1%. In fact, it's only 0.7%. So in other words, buyers weren't paying a huge premium just to own Bukit Timah address. So fast forward to today, right? Daintree Residence has delivered average resale profit of about $303,000, while Park Esta performed even better at approximately $460,000. Yes, Park Esta still came out ahead, but notice something different and important here. Unlike the earlier comparison with 4th Avenue Residences, Daintree Residence still generate a very healthy gains despite being located in a prime district. And that reinforces one key lesson. The issue isn't simply where a project is in Bukit Timah. The real question is whether buyers are paying a safe entry price. So when the premium becomes excessive, upside becomes more difficult. But when pricing is balanced, prime district projects remain highly competitive. And that's exactly why we believe DUNEARN House launching price deserved very close attention.
Now let's look at problem 2. Does being surrounded by freehold developments automatically put DUNEARN House at a disadvantage? Or is there another perspective that many buyers may have overlooked? Let's take a look at the surrounding. Within the 1 km radius of 6th Avenue and Tan Kah Kee MRT stations, there are 34 freehold resale condos and only 6 leasehold resale condos. At 6th Avenue MRT, there are 9 freehold developments. Out of these, 7 are boutique projects with lesser than 150 units. So, only 2 freehold developments and 2 leasehold developments have more than 200 units. The 2 freehold projects are Royal Green with 285 units and Tesserina with 443 units. As for the 2 leasehold projects, 4th Avenue has 476 units and Duchess Crest has 251 units. Over at Tan Kah Kee MRT station, there are 25 freehold developments. Yet, only 2 have more than 200 units, which are the Shelford with 250 units and 19 Shelford with 256 units. For the leasehold projects, only 2 out of the 5 developments are above 200 units, which are Hillcrest Arcadia with 272 units and Duchess Crest with 251 units.
So why does this matter? When buyers shortlist properties, they don't compare based on tenure alone. So they compare developments with similar scale, facilities, living experience, and market liquidity. A 50 units boutique condo offers a very different lifestyle from a 300 to a 500 unit development with full facilities, stronger transaction activity, and also a larger resale market. That's why in reality, DUNEARN House closest competitors aren't all the 40 surrounding condos. They really just the 4 larger developments that are comparable in size and product offering.
Now, here's an interesting observation. Many buyers naturally assume that freehold properties should always command a high price than leasehold development. But does the market always behave this way?
Now let's look at Novena, which is also in District 11. We are comparing 2 very different developments. Lincoln Modern, a boutique freehold development with just 56 units, versus Soleil at Sinarang, a much larger 99-year leasehold development with 417 units. Today, Lincoln Modern is transacting at an average of $2,061 per square foot, while Soleil is performing average $2,377 per square foot. That is about 15% premium for the leasehold development. That's what's even more interesting is that historically, larger leasehold development have also delivered stronger annualized profit that many smaller boutique freehold projects aren't.
Now let's look at another example. This time we are heading to the East Coast. The area is surrounded by many boutique freehold developments. We are comparing Baywin Residences, a freehold project with just 24 units, against Tembusu Grand, a 99-year leasehold project with 638 units. Baywin Residences is averaging about 2,378 PSF, while Tembusu Grand is transacting at approximately 2,834 PSF. That's almost a 19% premium for the 99-year leasehold project. Again, historical data shows that larger leasehold developments have generally produced stronger annualized profits as compared to many smaller boutique freehold developments. So does this mean leasehold is always better? Not at all. The takeaway is this: size and product positioning matter.
Let's now compare 2 developments that are much more alike. On one side, we have Amber Park, which is a freehold development, 592 units. On the other side, Vela Bay, a 515 units, 99-year leasehold development. Now, both are large-scale developments with comprehensive facilities, making them far more comparable. And here, the market behaves exactly as most buyers would expect. Amber Park is currently averaging 3,066 per square foot, and while Vela Bay is averaging approximately 2,869 per square foot. And that's only a 7% premium for the freehold development. And that makes perfect sense, right? When buyers compare 2 developments of similar scale, facilities, and overall product quality, they are generally willing to pay a modest premium for freehold tenure. So the lesson is, tenure is important, but it isn't the only factor driving value. So the market doesn't simply reward freehold over leasehold, it rewards the right product.
And when comparing DUNEARN House to others, the most meaningful comparison isn't against every surrounding freehold condominium. Rather, it's against development of similar skill, facilities, and buyers' profile. That's because how buyers make decisions in the real world behaves like this. The third concern I would like to address is the upcoming HDB development in Turf City. Some buyers worry that introducing HDB into Bukit Timah could reduce the exclusivity of the neighbourhood, but we see it from a different perspective.
So the government's vision for Turf City is to create up to 20,000 new homes with a healthy mix of public and private housing. So why is this important? And if you are considering buying a home in this prestigious address, firstly, these HDBs will fall under the prime housing model, which means it's a 10-year MOP. So this means owners cannot sell their flats for at least 10 years. So this will create a more stable resident population rather than a high turnover of homeowners. So more importantly, Bukit Timah has always been a highly desirable location because of its renowned schools, excellent connectivity, and unique lifestyle. So with the introduction of HDB, right, more young families will finally have an opportunity to begin their journey in this neighborhood. So fast forward 15 years or more, many of these families will have progressed in their career, their income, and eventually be more ready to upgrade to a private property. And here is the key.
Many upgraders don't necessarily want to leave the neighbourhood they have grown to love. Their children are already in nearby schools, they build their daily routines around here, and they are familiar with the amenities and community. We have seen this happen repeatedly in mature estates such as Queenstown and Clementi. In fact, many of the record-breaking HDB resale transactions have come from these mature estates where today's HDB owners eventually become tomorrow's property buyers.
Sheila, I have a client who lived in Strathmore for over 10 years. So when it came to a time for them to upgrade, right, they will never consider moving out of this estate. So they only wanted a condo that is within Queenstown because that was the neighborhood they had come to call home. So I believe Turf City has the potential to follow a similar upgrading journey. So as the estate matures, more families will put down roots here, and over time, a portion of them will naturally aspire to upgrade while remaining in the same neighborhood. So they have grown accustomed to. So to me, that creates a future pipeline of upgraded demand for private developments like Dunn House. So of course, this transformation won't happen overnight. The government's master plans for Turf City will unfold for over the next 10 to 20 years. So if you're looking at Dunn House purely for short-term gains, this may not be the most suitable project, but if you are someone who believes in buying into an area before its full transformation takes place and you are prepared to ride on a long-term growth story, then Dunn House could be a very interesting opportunity to consider.
We sincerely hope this has given you greater clarity and perhaps a different perspective of the project. If our analysis resonates with you and you'd like to learn more about DUNEARN House, whether it's the floor plans, pricing, or unit types, we believe that offers the most value. We'll be more than happy to share our insights.
Every buyer has a different objective, so we are happy to discuss which unit, if any, best suits your lifestyle and investment goals. So feel free to reach us for a non-obligation discussion, and we look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Kim.
I'm Sheila.
See ya!